Hello, North America, and welcome to another segment of the VIP Business Stock Show here on VIP Internet TV with my lovely co-host Johanne Serpone. I'm Emilio Zinno, and this time around we're going to be talking about personal lending practices. Should we or should we not borrow money, Johanne?
Well, we should. We have to.
Well,
At a certain point, we got to turn around and borrow money because there's a certain need. There's things that we got to buy and things that we got to do, and it's part of the way. It's part of the way we live.
it's part of the way we live.
Right.
I mean, you folks, I'm sure have pondered many a times where, I want that large screen TV now. Should we, take a payment plan, pay so much a month? Is that what people do nowadays?
Well,
They want an
yeah.
automobile, they want a house, they want this, they want that. They want everything, just in case the flying saucer cometh and get you, before your time. You want to
We've
enjoy
had
life
it.
now.
Yeah, we've enjoyed
yeah.
it.
So-
I don't think we could pretty much change from that, Don. I think it'll be extremely. Our generation was based on that minimum payment. What is the minimum payment? And therefore, if I can handle it in my budget, the minimum payment for the month, I want this. I think it'll be very difficult for us to turn around and change that philosophy. And it's also the way the economy is kind of based. Our economy is based on this way of doing business. So now if all of a sudden we would stop lending and we would go back to the practices of maybe the envelope budget back
60,
to
70 years
ago.
Yeah.
I don't see it being feasible because I just don't see it.
Now, what
It'd
you're
be too
saying, Johanne,
drastic.
am I?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
you.
no, go ahead.
Am I to surmise, folks, that Johanne is trying to tell us that it is very healthy business to be able to borrow, because we're a society that's based on borrowing in the first place. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I'm trying to say, for sure.
And if we don't
100%.
borrow, it's going to affect the economic
the
situation.
whole structure, we can't just stop.
We cannot
We
stop.
just cannot stop. And let's say, for example, borrowing. I'm not saying that you borrow not within your means. You must borrow within your means and with whatever your budget is able to handle it. And if you're using the example, let's say, for example, the big screen TV, well, if let's say we're within our budgets and we can't turn around and put groceries on the table, for example, and I'm sorry to use groceries.
Right, because it is the essence of life. Yeah.
But I mean, of course, we're not going to go pick up the big screen TV. But let's say, for example, we'll use it another example. We're self-employed, and we have a possibility of maybe acquiring a new contract. The potential is to maybe increase some of the revenues in our household. Well, I would turn around and consider that a very wise decision to turn around and borrow to invest in a certain, marketing and structure or equipment that needs to be bought in order to increase the livelihood of my family. And I think that this idea that I would have would be very difficult for me to do it if I didn't have savings. And by the time I turn around and if let's say the project, for example, is I need $10,000. And by the time I would save $10,000, well, forget it. The idea is gone and I won't be able to generate any money for it. So I think I would need to borrow. I would be borrowing with an excellent plan in my mind and with a hope that this loan that I make, I'd be able to pay it back in a sufficient amount of time, and I would bring my family to another, hopefully, standard of living. So that would be like a good personal practice to borrow. Now, also, I'm going to take it another stretch. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't pick up the TV. So now, if, let's say, for example, our TV is broke down and we got some problems with it, maybe I would shop around. I wouldn't get maybe the huge screen, but if I can't pay it right away, maybe I would make arrangements with the store to pay it in 6 months, 7 months, a couple of payments. There's a lot of sometimes these stores too that they issue non-interest, and it's something that you would do, because by the time you save and pick it up,
0% financing. We all know the story,
yeah,
but Johanne,
it could be possible.
Johanne, when would it be the time not to borrow money? Do you know of any instance? Can you tell us a story without mentioning names of a time where you kind of saw that the individual was better off not borrowing money? Can you think of anything like
Well,
that?
the only thing I can think of is a lot of times when we're in, like I was saying when we opened the segment a little bit, Don, we're living in a society of credit. So therefore, we do not stop really to be consciously aware of where our money's going. And if we were to turn around and do that, and sometimes there's like courses that we can take within our community, which are budgeting courses, which seem very elementary, but it's extremely like sometimes complicated. So if we would take a moment to watch where our money is going, because sometimes where I would see it as a problem, where we're not realizing it, is, let's say, for example, we've already got our household expenses, which are there no matter what, those have to be tended to. And we've got already 2 or 3 credit cards. And then, let's say, for example, the best example would be a lot of people, this is the way we all think. Oh, the car breaks down. Well, you know what? It's non-interest. There's 0 interest now. I'm going to go get myself a new car. So next thing you know, they're shopping for a new car. Now, they had a car with no payment, and they were just maintaining gas, and they were maintaining insurance and whatever. Now, all of a sudden, they have a car that they're adding payment. Now, a lot of time, people do not notice where their money's going. So if you have all the essentials that you need for the house and you've already got a couple of credit card payment, well, people, when they start shopping around, and particularly with sometimes in these times, they're hard economic times, so we'll find a lot of 0 interest. Next thing you know, because there's 0 interest, well, they're looking at these cars of minimum payment of $450, $550. The car at that price really does throw off a budget, because then it's a little extra insurance, a little extra on gas, and next thing you know, you've got that $700-800 that's gone in a month. Now, when I'm not saying not to shop for that car, but I'm saying be consciously aware of where your money's going. Stop before you go to shop for that car. Turn around and actually calculate, what is your grocery bill, your hydro, your bell, your cell phone, your rent, your insurance, your life insurance, your transportation costs, your credit card payment monthly.
All right, stop it. I quit.
Why? Why would you quit?
You're discouraging me.
No.
You keep adding,
once you've
to
done
the
all
bill.
that and you've seen what you're left with, I would turn around and shop for a car around $325, and it doesn't seem, Don, like I'm discouraging you, but if you're looking at personal loan practices, that $200 different, $250 different a month
is what can make it or break it for you.
Exactly.
And Johanne, I couldn't agree with you more, because I believe that the problem with a lot of people out there, they have no control on spending. Sounds like government officials. They have no control on spendings, and it's very, very important to know how to respect money, because if you have money today, you have to sort of think like our fathers and great grandfathers used to think, save for a rainy day. Remember that part? They were right. Uneducated as they were for the most part, they were right. Lesson to be learned. So what Johanne is really trying to say, if I comprehend what you're trying to tell our folks, is that you have to respect money, you have to respect the budget. It's all fine and dandy. It's okay to borrow, but know how to borrow. And this lesson is compliments of Group Serpone and VIP Business Talk Show. So, folks, I hope you're going to be joining us again on another segment of the VIP Business Talk Show here on VIP Internet Radio. Until then, we want to wish you all the best in health and in wealth. God bless.